Hey, welcome to Cigar Garage with Doc. Today I am smoking something a little different, though it doesn't look different, does it? This is a Churchill, and this is a Connecticut wrapper, again, grown in Nicaragua. I just want to make sure I put it up there. It's has a Connecticut wrapper, and it's a Cuban Nicaraguan uh, binder and fillers from Dominican Republic, so it's a blend. And it's an excellent cigar. It's made by Gurkha, and that's it there. It's Park Avenue, Gurkha Park Avenue. Wrapper comes right off. Beautiful cigar, comes like that. And so I'm smoking a different cigar today. As you can see, look at that burn, look at that ash, nice and silvery. Not a bad burn, not a bad burn at all. And nice and smooth. And I'm going to ash it now because while I'm talking to you, it's probably going to fall in my lap because I had a pretty nice ash. And it comes right off nicely. Look at that burn. You can see the burn a little better there. Yeah. Anyway, it's nice and smooth. Hardly no hints of pepper. Very creamy. In some ways, it tastes different than the, if you want to compare it, you can compare this to the Mark Twain Connecticut's that I smoke. It has some of the same flavors in there. It has some of the same tobaccos in there, but the thing is that this has Dominican tobacco as well, and there is a different flavor to it. I find it to be very creamy and almost more nutty. And I do get a little bit more of a coffee taste in this cigar than I do the Mark Twain. The Mark Twain has more of that Connecticut grassy, almost as if it's a Connecticut wrapper from Virginia or Pennsylvania, United States and Connecticut area. But the Mark Twain tastes a little more American, if you ask me, a little bit. Both of them are very, very creamy, but this one's got a little more coffee. So I wouldn't say it's stronger, I'd say it's a little different. Just as enjoyable. Smoke is smooth, thick, as you can see. Very nice cigar. Just want to say, try this out, but I want to tell some of the young people too. If you're old enough and you're going to smoke a cigar, Connecticut is probably what you want to start with. It usually has a lot less of that pepper. You never inhale a cigar. You taste the smoke and blow it out, and you'll see the difference. It's pretty mild. It's a great starter cigar, but it's also a great cigar for anybody who just likes to, like an everyday cigar, where you can sit there and smoke one or two in a row. In fact, I've done that before with these. Smoked two in a row, and it was just like smoking one strong cigar. Not bad at all. You can sit there for hours and have your cigar lit. Love these too. These are very, very good. Now, I see online a lot of people, they'll smoke this and say, oh, it's this, or it's not that good, or it's a cheap cigar. And they say that about some of the best cigars. I mean, really, some of the best cigars. Some of the top name cigars, all top brand cigars. Gurkha's a top brand cigar. I mean, they have cigars $50, $100 and more. They're specialty cigars and stuff like that. I love the Gurkha Grand Age. That has a Cameroon wrapper. It has a lot of sweetness to it. It's really nice. Not sugar, but I mean a sweet wrapper. Beautiful wrapper. And the fillers are Nicaraguan with that, but they're definitely sweeter. They give more of a chocolate taste, and I really do like them, but they're not as easy to get as these tend to be. But yet, this is a beautiful cigar. And again, you don't inhale cigars, and if you're going to start, this is it. Now, can smoking be hazardous to your health? Absolutely. Should you start? That's up to you. We live in America. You make your choices. If you're thinking about cigars between cigarettes, well, I picked a cigar because a cigarette is only about 40%, 40 to 60, depending on the cigarette, tobacco. The rest is chemical. This is 100% tobacco, and the tobacco has been fermented, it's been cleared, it's been cleaned, and there's very little in it other than nicotine. And nicotine, though it does have its bad points, especially if you're swallowing it in, it also has some good points, believe it or not, for the body. It's not 100% poison or anything like that. I mean, there's people that have been smoking. My grandfather smoked cigars from the time he was 12 years old. The day he died, at 84 years old, he died of old age. He got a common cold. He got a cold. He couldn't breathe. He went to the hospital. Doctor said, Bucky, what are you doing here in the hospital? You have a cold. He said, what? He said, you have a cold. You just have a cold. He says, I can't breathe. My nose is stuffed. He says, well, haven't you ever had a cold before? My grandfather said, no. And he started out as a cop walking the beat in Jersey City with all kinds of weather and everything else. Smoked cigars, I don't know how many, but he always had 5 in his pocket. So if he smoked one, he'd stop at the store and get another one, put it in his pocket. So he always had a box of cigars, and every morning put 5 in his pocket. So I guess he smoked 5 to 10 cigars a day. His whole life. Remember Grandpa sitting in everybody's house. He always had a chair in everybody's house. Grandpa always sat in that nice chair in the living room. And he'd get up from dinner. He wouldn't care if it was your house or not. You didn't say anything to Buck. But anyway, he sat there, and the family, Buck's going to have a cigar. I mean, he'd puff away in your house. But, and we all loved him for it, us kids especially. We loved to see the smoke and the big puff, Grandpa puffing with the big cigar, big stinky cigar, And it reminds me of my grandpa. It really does. I miss him very much. As old as I am, I miss my grandpa very much. And but anyway, that's my story about the cigars. That's a little bit of a story about my grandpa. I'm sure you have stories like that too. A lot of guys start smoking cigars because either their father or their grandpa or their uncle or somebody they really liked was a cigar smoker. That's true. And if you come from some of these countries like Cuba, Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, where these things have moved from Cuba to and grown in South Florida, Tampa, Ybor City, you'll find that a lot of families have fond memories of cigars. And they bring people together. And even now, if you go to a cigar shop and you sit and talk, it doesn't matter whether you're a surgeon, a heart surgeon, a brain surgeon, or whether you cut lawns for a living. Not that either one is different. No, everybody who goes to work, take pride in what you do, because we need every one of you. Everybody's needed. And it doesn't matter when you sit in those places, you'll have talk about family, you'll talk about sports, you'll talk about cigars, and you'll talk about life. And it doesn't matter, you'll learn so much from each other. It's wonderful. So go to the cigar shops. When you go to a cigar shop, there's a few rules you want to follow. One is, if you don't know much about cigars, don't be embarrassed. People there love teaching you about cigars. That's what they just love doing it. Most of the guys who go to are real cigar aficionados type of guys. And quite frankly, they'll teach you and they'll tell you, hey, try this cigar. Tell them, well, I haven't smoked before. I just started, or I don't like strong cigars. Do you like one that lasts a long time? What do you like? They'll ask you, and they'll show you some cigars that you may want to try. And you'll sit there with them and have that cigar. Wonderful. And but if you go in there, don't bring your own cigars. Always buy one from the shop. The shop doesn't make that much money. You figure you come in, you spend even $15-20 on a real good cigar, and you sit there and smoke it, and they made $20. But the air condition that they use, the humidifiers, everything they have to do just to keep the cigars there, and their big humidor, the walk-in humidors, and all of these things, they don't make much money. They really don't make much money. A cigar shops, a lot of people who own cigar shops are not really in it to become rich. They're in it because they love cigars, they love the business, and they love the clientele. They love the friendships that develop there. So that's a little bit of story about cigars, and my opinion, of course, and you have a right to yours. Remember, this is Doc, and I ask you, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, would you? Because it's going to help me get on with the thing, and maybe I'll get a better sound and whatever, but I don't edit these things, and I'm not going to sit there and edit these things. I go online too, and I see all these. They all look like they're from television, advertisements, everything. I may have advertisements later. I'd like to make a few bucks if I could, have donations of just cigars, and then I'll, talk about the cigar I got and do a review on it. But actually, I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for you to tune in and enjoy some of the topics that I talk about. And again, some of the topics you can ask me about because of my background, just quickly, is Marine Corps, boxing, baseball, martial arts, police work. I'll probably do another video on some of the riots. I have some questions about the riots because I've been a police. What do I think? And I'm a nationally certified criminal justice specialist. I have a bachelor's degree in police science and criminal justice. And I've done quite a bit in my life. And a lot of people will tell me, hey, Doc, you ought to get on there because you could talk about so many subjects, from ghost hunting to conspiracies. You name it, I could talk about it. I have a lot of experience. And I'm not a young man, that's for sure. So anyway, this is Doc. See you on a flip-flop. Tune in if you see the video on the riots. I'll tell you what I think about that in California and some of these other things they're pulling. And I'll see you then. Take care. God bless. See you again at my garage. This is Doc.